Hello? Hey, Jesus. Okay, now it should be. Seriously, what is wrong with OBS's Jesus Christ. Now it should be. Now it should be. Guys, it should be live now. I can see myself on the damn phone. Is it live? Okay, perfect. Okay, so apparently there was a new OBS shit that was going on, and I couldn't see myself. I was like, okay, I could see like, oh, I am live, I am okay. But now I have to not just start streaming, I have to like choose go live. Absolutely fucking annoying. See, like, do they not understand like people like me who have no fucking idea how to do this shit are also doing this shit? Like, kaise chalega? And yes, I am complaining that why isn't OBS a free streaming software settling down to my standard, which they don't even know exist. That is called being Indian. Also, new ring. Because I got married, which is decent. I like it. Thank you, Awkward Aman, for coming to the stream. Hopefully, like and subscribe if you can. That would be very nice. This is adjacent to the Discord, so remember, thank you. I have to post about the Discord. I forgot again. See, I haven't done this in a week, and I was like, when the stream was going live, when it wasn't actually live, I was like, oh, I miss streaming. Like, I literally, like, this is something you miss. But then like shit changes, and every single time, like this has happened every fucking single time that I have gone live and then something or the other has broken. Like just ask Bliss. Just ask Bliss. Bliss is Slayer in the Discord. How many times this stream has goddamn fucking broken, and the only reason this is still going is because of her. Like, I can't. I'm not meant for managing streams. I'm meant for talking endlessly. Fucking hell. I hate this. Not the drink. I hate like the fact that streaming software are so fucking annoying. And this is something I was going to talk about my fucking wedding. I was very happy about it. Oh, fuck. Anyway, wedding went great. I had like a few, like 7-8 Polish people there. I had 2 people from India. I had 1 person from Kurd. He was a Kurd, currently Iraq. There's a very big difference there. Then I had 1 Greek. She is my best friend. Thank God she was there. And everything is decent. Not too bad. All good. Everything went well. Everything went super. We got our papers very early, which is nice because I'm not allowed to be married in Poland, which is weird, I know. But Polish government rules, like they have a bureaucratic ban on getting married in Poland, so we had to go to Denmark for it. Anyway, how is your life been? Anything new? Anything good? Anything bad? What's going on? I mean, more or less, I think I know what's going on with you guys because, again, Discord and most of you are on Discord. But, like, I'm guessing, like, Awkward Aman is Vision, yeah? Because maybe. On that note, where is Exorcist? Exorcist, you there? Gaurav, I mean. And if you can, please post the shit ahead. Please like the stream and please share the stream. You can share the notification on Twitter because apparently most of the people that come here are from Twitter. Again, thank you so much for coming. Let's share a proper stream, whatever that. Jesus, what is wrong with everything today? I'm not meant for technology, I'm sorry. There you go. This is much more better. Into my profile, perfect. Perfect. Anyway, so let's begin. So first things first, we need to talk about is the pollution in Delhi, which has gone bonkers. If you have watched the earlier streams, you know exactly where I lie on the pollution point of view, and you know exactly how the pollution is caused in the first place. It is not caused by burning crackers. I mean, it is. Sorry, it is caused by burning crackers. It is not caused by burning of the stubble. It is not caused by normal people, or definitely not the tandoor thing. What the fuck was wrong with the tandoor thing? Anybody have the tandoor video? Like they banned tandoors in Delhi for like against fucking pollution. What the fuck is wrong with them? Like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is wrong with these people, man? Master stroke. Finally, Delhi government takes historic action. Bans fucking tandoors. Yeah, Muslims cook on tandoor, so they ban it. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, these fucking people, man. There you go. That's better, I guess. What the fuck is like you can't have a naan because your government is inefficient. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this government, man? Like these puppeting fucking clowns. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. How are tandoors going to be a problem in this? Like, okay, look at this. Emission load of different sources in Delhi. Hotels here. This is, and part of this is tandoors here. This is industrial stack is the biggest part of it, obviously. Emission load, biggest stack, industrial and construction. Industrial, construction. This is what I keep screaming about every time. This is what I was screaming about right now on the space, like in Amit space. And quite literally, like I was screaming there, like, okay, ye sab chutiapa is like a direct result of us not regulating our fucking factories. Like, how many factories does Mumbai have? How many factories does Delhi have? Mumbai and Delhi are having the exact same problem right now. Like, okay, I'm just gonna pull up maps, okay? In fucking Delhi. Oh, it's just right here. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Like, look at this. These small points, power plant, power plant, power plant. No, this powerhouse. Power plant. Why do you think these things are there? Like total 5 around thermal power plant. See, these are coal. If Delhi is quite literally encircled by power plants, how do you expect Delhi to have cleaner air? It's not going to. It's never going to. What the fuck are we expecting here? That's the problem. Like, why do you think shit like where's that shit? Hold on. I fucking can't find it anymore. Where was the Noida thing? Hold on. Yeah, this thing. Why do you think this happens? This happens as quite literally a result of power plants not being stopped when all the pollution is still going high. This happens quite literally as a result of it. And people tend to claim, oh no, this is because of this, because of that. Like I understand people don't really have the information to even like talk about this thing, but like come on. At least when people talk, listen. There was someone who's telling me like, oh, this is not possible, we can't fix this anymore, this is India, not China. But like, come on. Like fine, this is not China, this is like, we can do something. You could like, we can't just like, oh, we'll just take care of the fish, like, so not fish, we'll just take care of the goddamn cars and that's it, that will fix us. No, because see, people inherently have this mindset that we cannot touch factories, we cannot touch industries. Why? Because these are the people who tell you like, oh, you can't touch factories or you can't touch industries. That is not true. All we need to do is protest, and if we can't protest, then nothing's gonna ever change. That's like, and this problem is not new. This problem was known. This is like something known. Like even when you have like something like GARB that has to come in to like rectify all this goddamn pollution. How is GARB going to like, is it going to like pluck pollution off the air? No, it's not fucking not going to do that. What it's going to do is, it is going to again stop these factories. That is what it's for. But then it is not enough. People don't understand that these factories need to stop throughout the year for this to like, it needs to especially stop in the goddamn summer. Like बंद करो ये फैक्ट्रियां, तब जाके विंटर में इतना पोल्यूशन नहीं होगा. Jesus fucking Christ. And we are all like, this is our problem, whether we like it or not. This is the same issue in Mumbai as well. Like Mumbai had a curtain of pollution. Mumbai, like Mumbai haze is a thing for a reason. Like, where is this? There's a good video for this. Last week, chalo. Does anybody have a link of like X or something to Mumbai pollution? And then we have these fucking people, man. Jesus. I just came across this. I did not know this was a thing. Let's just look at this and see how stupid this is. When people are dying, this fucking guy, Amiro Ka Chochla, Yogi Guru dissays air purifier suggests curtains while pollution chokes Delhi NCR. What the goddamn fuck is this, man? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, okay, I get that this guy is a grifter himself, and he's currently selling people to Russia. Like, let's not forget, this guy has signed a lease, or like rather a promise contract with the government of Russia to send them workers to fight in the front lines. Not joking, quite literally, this guy has signed it. And this guy is part of the whole nexus where he's going to be sending people a lot more. He's going to be sending people to the front lines in fucking Russia while they fight for their lives against Ukrainian forces, because they are going to be dressed as Russians. Never forget. This is who we are dealing with. And now he wants people to die of choking. Jesus fucking Christ. Speaking, Ramdev was speaking at the TV channel's special news show on setting the country's agenda when he suggests yoga exercise to fight diseases in general. The Ashtak anchor asked him how he could exercise outdoors when the pollution is so high. Look, when the country is progressing, naturally some dust will fly, he first said, speaking in Hindi. Pressed to speak about national capital's region's persistent air pollution problem, Ramdev said, yes, Delhi sometimes becomes like gas chamber. Then you people should put up curtains in your homes. He has like 300 air purifiers, I can bet you. He built on the curtain argument, put some curtains in the house, dust them off a little after 15-20 days while wearing a mask. He further said, sit inside and do breathing exercises in pollution. Wow. Take long breaths. Do Kapal Bhat. What the fuck? Kapal Bhati. Kapal Bhati, fuck. Yeah, take long breaths while you do not have an air purifier. Nice. Asked about air purifier, he said that just a fad or extravagance for the rich people. Yeah, so when like the government of Delhi is ordering like 300 air purifiers, your entire office has air purifiers. Your Bajuka office has air purifiers. Why shouldn't the normal people have air purifiers? I'm pretty sure they're doing this so that like there is no like they have enough air purifiers for themselves, because stocks are still limited, right? Because stocks come from China. The program was being telecasted on Saturday when Delhi, Noida, and NCR overall saw its air quality worsen so drastically the government had to go in for stage 3 and stage 4 of the Great Response Action Plan GRAP within hours. Again, GRAP is not going to work here. Sunday woke up to worse AQI that many in Delhi, Noida, Ghaziabad, among other places, close to 500 AQI ceiling. Earlier this month, Dr. Alok Chopra, a Delhi-based cardiologist with over 40 years of experience, posted on Instagram that air pollution in Delhi should not be normalized in any way, which they are trying to do. Never forget, like whenever you check AQI, they have a mention now like, oh, this is not dependable because this is the international standard. Indian standard is different. Like, what the fuck do you mean Indian standard? Breathing clean air is a daily choice, and small habits create a big impact. What the fuck? It's not like your breath is quite literally a restart to your life. Whenever you breathe, your body restarts. You have like what, a minute on earth before you die, and every time you breathe it restarts. Jesus fucking Christ. He listed among the general rules to tackle rising AQIs having indoor plants, humidifiers, and air purifiers. Allow outdoor ventilation only when AQI is low, he noted. Like, yeah, that works, but that also doesn't work. The only way to fight AQI is at the source. And the source, my dear Papakshis, if I should say so, is stopping all these plants, these fucking industrial plants, every fucking single place. You need to be out there protesting against all of these fucking shits. I can't scream this enough. AQI is a very solvable problem. All you need is a willing government. It's not hard. You need to just stop the polluters. And the polluters aren't sitting in fucking Punjab, because the problem is the same in Mumbai. The polluters aren't sitting in any other state or in Pakistan or whatever. Hell, we are polluting their airspace. Not even joking. So, quite literally, the problem is us. The problem people are that are living here, like rather not here, but like where is this? Like rich people, Delhi. That's the problem. Because they own all of this shit and they don't want it to stop. So they directly pay the BJP. So this doesn't stop, and you are breathing like shit air, that to the point where this is the air that you give to people you absolutely hate. The current prime minister is not even in the country. Rekha Gupta is not even in the country. She's the CM of Delhi. Like, she's gone fucked off somewhere apparently. He's in fucking Jordan. He's not gonna come back because he doesn't want to smell this. He doesn't want to have this much amount of toxins in his body. So they are not here. Who are we? Jesus Christ. Like, if people of Delhi don't protest right now, nothing is gonna happen. Literally nothing is gonna happen. And if nothing is gonna happen, then they are the ones going to suffer anyway. This is like, it's not easy for me to say this. It is not. I am not, like, I'm not that heartless. I feel the problems that are going on right now. I understand it. And it's bad. And like, it is seriously bad. On a environmental perspective, it's bad. On every single perspective, this is bad. And there's no easy way out of this other than just stopping these plants from doing anything. Like, ban karwao. That is what we need. That is a need of this hour. Anyway, we have to move on. We are doing today, we were supposed to talk about this as well, but fine, we covered it first. We are doing today what I wanted to do is talk about quite literally let's just say, why is the RSS so much into fucking PiSS? Has anyone ever wondered why? Like, think about it. All they do is talk about cow piss. Like, bathing in it, swimming in it, drinking it. Like, even during COVID, they were quite literally throwing cow piss down people's throats who had COVID and were like unconscious. Have you guys ever wondered why? It's very diabolical on why they are so involved into cow piss. It is extremely stupid. But let's go one by one. Okay? So let's introduce the problem. The problem is very eloquently shown to us by the current BJP MP Paresh Rawal. I fucking swear he was such a good guy once upon a time. There you go.
देवगन साहब वैसे ही चक्कर लगा किसी को मिलने आए होंगे, पता चला परेश है यहाँ पे, क्या हो गया तुझे? मैंने नहीं सर ये मैं गिर गया। अच्छा कैसा है? मतलब अभी 3-4 दिन हुए हैं। मैं बोलूँगा वो करेगा? बोला क्या करेगा? बोला हाँ मैं करूँगा सर। बोलिए। सुबह उठ के फर्स्ट यूरिन पीना अपना। बोला फर्स्ट यूरिन पीना, सब फाइटर लोग ये करते हैं। कोई
He's saying that he was in shit and then someone told him to drink urine every single fucking morning.
कोई तकलीफ नहीं रहेगी, कभी कुछ नहीं होगा, फर्स्ट यूरिन पीना। लेकिन अगली रात को दारू बनो, दारू तो बंद है मेरा। मटन बटन कुछ मत खाना, तम्बाकू ममाकू कुछ मत खाना, जो खाता है नॉर्मल खाना, लेकिन फर्स्ट यूरिन सुबह उठ के पीना। ठीक है यार मैं पीऊँगा पक्का, ठीक है तो देखना तू। वो चले गए। दूसरे दिन मैं सुबह अपने आप को तैयार किया, लेकिन मैंने ये सोचा था कि अगर मुझे यूरिन पीना ही है तो मैं तो उड़ेल नहीं दूंगा।
Bitch is actually considering it.
Sip it like a beer. क्योंकि अगर करना है तो पूरे तरीके से करना है। मैं आपको बताऊं 15 दिन मैंने ये किया। 15 दिन के बाद जब एक्सरे निकाला गया, डॉक्टर दंग रहेगा, बोलते सीमेंटिंग कैसे हुआ?
There is no fucking doctor that is ever gonna say this. He is lying. Let's just be clear.
He could see the white line forming.
Yeah, that was deposition of urea crystals in your throat probably. And you're dying from it.
और जो मैं निकलने वाला था 2 या 2.5 महीने में अस्पताल के बाद काम करने वाला था, वो विद इन मंथ एंड हाफ में शुरू हो गया। ये जादू हुआ था। वाह।
He's fucking lying, man. He's fucking lying. Everyone knows he's fucking lying, right? I am assuming everyone knows that he's fucking lying, because I cannot be sure. Like with fucking Indians from sometimes they will support this shit. Anyway, so why is this like? Hold on. Wait, I had this open here. Where is this? Nitin Gadkari uses urine to water plants for better growth, which honestly is still, I would say, better overall, because urine does have urea, and it's one of the reasons why we have urea in like it is a fertilizer, so decent. But why the focus? Why the focus? Like, why is cow urine being sold here, like on India Mart for 100 rupees per liter? Directly extracted. Well, there is a very good reason for it. Absolutely amazing reason for it is because urine has urea again. It was used for cleaning clothes. For the long Cow Mata supremacy, exactly. But now it's cow mata supremacy. Earlier it was just for like, okay, we need something to clean our clothes. What are we gonna use? We have a lot of cows. We use urine. And that was all there is to it. All there is to it for the longest time. Then came in Hindutvawadis. And that's when urine went from something that was used to clean to this idea that you need urine for literally everything. You need to drink it, you need to smell it, you need to spray it, you need to... Because one of the tenets of indoctrination is adoption of a common practice. And if they can get you to drink your own piss, to drink cow's piss, they can get you to do anything. That's why it is so much focused on as a means of, like purification. Like once you do all of this, once you drink cow piss or whatever, you are Hindu. Or without it, you are not Hindu. You are not Hindu then. You are only Hindu if you do all of this shit. You're only Hindu if you get organic cow piss at like 60 rupees per bottle. You're only Hindu when it's Ayurvedic. Yeah, you're only a Kattar Hindu if you do this. Because this is levels of indoctrination. And it is a humongous part of it. That's why they have such a fascination with piss. Because if you are doing these practices on a daily basis, you know they are wrong. Your body revolts against it. Your body is not stupid. Why do you there's a question you're asked whether you actually understand evolution on why does shit smell bad to you, like your own poop. Your own poop smells bad to you because your body knows that it's not good. That's why it smells bad, and because it's going to give you some or the other disease. That's why it smells bad to you. That's why for a fly it doesn't smell bad. It smells like a meal because flies don't care. That's why urine is bad for you. But if you are using it like this, going against the grain, going against your natural instinct, against it, you, my friend, are quite literally part of an indoctrination cult. Because right-wing RSS are a cult. And a cult that is rising exponentially. Since 2014, where now they are at an international fucking level. Let's go on and have a look, because RSS is a global cult now, because it is lobbying America, it is lobbying Europe. We have seen multiple times how RSS people end up in different countries, how RSS recently took out, like, not RSS per se, like the BJP and the RSS have a hand in a lot of in Gavin Newsom, who was lobbied by the Hindu movement in in California recently, to be like, oh, we are not going to introduce the caste discrimination bill because the Hindus in California want to discriminate. So hold on, where is this? Found it.
The ideological engine of the Sangh Parivar.
Again, I think we have watched this before. We are going to do this again because why not?
The organization that shaped Narendra Modi's rise, and a group that can be compared to a jinn or to Proteus from Greek mythology. Why? Because in mythology, these beings are capable of shifting shape and exercising extraordinary powers. The RSS over the years has constantly changed its definition. It's sometimes a political organization, sometimes cultural, and other times just a body of individuals.
So we are categorized as body of individuals.
And this non-registered cultural organization has now allegedly shown up in one of the most unlikely places: official US lobbying disclosures. According to a PRISM...
Okay, so I'm going to quickly explain what lobbying is. If you have enough money, you can literally buy a politician. If you, there are lobbying organizations and ways you can pay money to a PAC or create a PAC. A PAC is a allocation or an institute that you can create which you can fund, which funds the politician for whatever demands you may or may not have. It was placed because US politicians wanted to do corruption legally. Now, lobbying institutes are a thing in India as well, even though it is like technically not legal. There are lobbying institutes in Europe as well, and RSS has a hand in most of them.
Investigation, the RSS appears as the entity on whose behalf a top Washington law firm, Square Patent Box, was hired for lobbying. And in just the first 3 quarters of 2025, the firm received $330,000 for this work. All of this for paying lobby members of the US Senate and House of Representatives. The RSS has denied it, but if the papers are true, it raises staggering questions. Why does the RSS need a foreign lobbying campaign? Who's paying the money? And what does this mean for India's democracy and for India-US relations? Let me explain. Before we go further, today we are talking about influence, about who gets access, who shapes narratives, and how power often operates away from public view. And this moment is a reminder of why independent journalism matters. Just this week, the union government announced a 26% hike in advertisement rates for newspapers, a move that inevitably increases the leverage that government holds over the media. At the News Minute, we have chosen a completely different
Guys,
path.
someone is at the
One
door.
that depends on readers and viewers like yourselves and not the state. So as a counter to that 26% hike, we are offering a 26% discount on TNM subscriptions. It's our way of saying if you want journalism that asks hard questions about lobbying, power and accountability, then help keep it free and independent. Scan the QR code on your screen or you can click the link in the description below. Now remember, a new episode of Let Me Explain drops every Saturday and you can write to me at lme@thenewsminute.com with anything you want to say to us. Now back to the story. The RSS is India's
My
largest
wife's back.
far-right Hindu nationalist organization. For 100 years, it's been the ideological fountainhead of the Sangh Parivar, the parent body of groups involved in education, social service and politics. The Bharatiya Janata Party, or the BJP, the ruling party today, was born from the RSS, but in the US, the RSS is viewed very differently. Experts, human rights groups, and many policymakers see it as an organization linked to discrimination and violence against minorities, especially Muslims.
So, internationally speaking, RSS is a terrorist organization. It operates like one. It has a paramilitary force in India known as the Sangh. They train their candidates in the use of weapons. They train them to target minorities. This is not a secret. This is true. Even though they claim to have a wing for Muslims, even though they claim to have a wing for Dalits and STs and OBCs, but RSS leader is never a Dalit, never someone of lower caste. It is never someone of another religion. And that is a problem. Because in that scenario, they are clearly discriminatory. Plus, it has been known multiple times that the RSS heads will never even go to the house of someone who has come up as a leader and is a Dalit or a Muslim. They will not drink water at their houses, and it has been documented multiple times. They are inherently discriminatory as an organization, and there isn't, and this is not wrong, this is completely true. And this is something that we need to always remember.
Its early leaders praised Nazi Germany and fascist Italy. An RSS member assassinated Mahatma Gandhi. And its affiliates were at the center of the Babri Masjid demo.
So the RSS this is also true. Like the RSS quite literally was in favor of the Nazis. Savarkar, if I remember correctly, was someone who appreciated what the Nazis did, was in favor of how they did it, and then he was favor in how Israelis and Zionists were harassing Palestinians in occupied Palestine.
Demolition in 1992, which triggered some of the deadliest communal riots in India's history. So the RSS has an image problem abroad. But according to PRISM, despite this image problem, RSS is trying to lobby in the US. In case you're wondering, lobbying is an act of trying to influence decisions made by government officials. Now think of it as professional persuasion. It's done by companies, non-profits, foreign governments, or special interest groups who hire lobbyists who are experts at talking to lawmakers, like members of the US Congress. The lobbyists try to convince lawmakers to support laws or policies that benefit their client. For example, a solar power company might hire a lobbyist to convince Congress to pass a tax break for renewable energy. Now, in India, lobbying isn't formally recognized. It happens, of course, but largely off the books, behind closed doors, and without any structured disclosure. In the US, lobbying is legal, regulated, and completely normal, as long as everything is declared openly through official filings. And it's those filings in Washington that suddenly threw up the name of RSS. A disclosure by Square Patent Box, one of the biggest lobbying firms in Washington, showed they registered on Jan 16, 2025 as a lobbyist for the RSS. Not directly, but through another firm that's called OnePlus Strategies. In the first 3 quarters of 2025 alone, Square Patent Box received $330,000 for this work alone. The stated lobbying issue is US-India bilateral relations, and later introducing the RSS to US officials. But here's the catch. The firm registered this under the Lobbying Disclosure Act, that's the LDA, and not the FARA, that's the Foreign Agents Registration Act. Why? Because FARA is stricter. Here, the firm would need to disclose every meeting, email, call, and transaction connected to this work. Under the LDA, almost none of the transparency is required. Experts quoted in PRISM's report say that this is a problem because the RSS is a foreign entity. Ben Freeman, a foreign influence expert, told the PRISM that registering under the LDA instead of FARA keeps this influence campaign in complete shadows. Now, both the lobbying firms have not made a comment yet, but the day after the story was published, the RSS did. Its spokesperson Sunil Ambekar wrote on X that Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh works in Bharat and has not engaged any lobbying firm in the USA. That's a categorical denial, one that was carried by many mainstream media. Here's another element that may make the RSS uncomfortable. This is a tweet by the RSS handle on June 5th about the guest present at an RSS event in Nagpur. Lawyer Bob Schuster, who is, by the way, a founding partner of OnePlus Strategies, and Bradford Ellison, an associate at Square Patent. RSS Mouthpiece organizer also carried an article on this. So why were they in Nagpur? According to PRISM's reporting, lobbyists contacted historian Audrey Truschke to gather information. Truschke confirmed to the News Minute that she did receive an email from Bradford Ellison saying that the team was recently retained by the RSS to educate lawmakers. Indian mainstream media hasn't bothered to check after these details have come out. And if we go by the RSS denial, then the question comes up. Will they take legal action against these two firms for pretending to represent them? And this
They are not going to take any action because the firms are like, they hired the firms. They can't do anything in America, especially because this is something what they want to do. Like, remember I was like 5 minutes ago, I was talking about like, okay, Governor Gavin Newsom vetoes California caste discrimination bill. This doesn't happen in like isolation. He didn't discriminate the bill on the basis that, oh, it's actually a really bad bill, but we need to not go through with it is because of whatever. This happens because he was lobbied into it. Everyone fucking knows. Because Gavin Newsom at the end of the day is going to pay dividends to the people who donate to his campaign, which is now the RSS. California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom has vetoed a bill banning caste discrimination. Advocates have argued the bill would protect South Asian descendants who had been treated unfairly. And it happens. Right now, one of the biggest problems within companies in America especially is that Hindus, like you see Hindus that go on to managerial positions, because now it's the second generation Indians who have become Americans. Older ones that have gone in the 90s have become managers. If you do not associate with them, if you are not from the right caste, right creed, or a white person who does not follow through with what they are saying or follow the traditions in the office, you're never going to be promoted. You're going to die in your position because, first of all, America and India have have literally the same, what's the word for it? Way of being registered as an employee. It is at will. You're an at will employee. So they would just fire you if you don't associate with the manager in his cultural sense, because the manager now is an Indian UC Supremo. And those guys are already high on power and they force everyone down. So this bill was necessary. But because RSS is in this idea that they need to control people, they need to push their ideology in America and pay Gavin Newsom to stop this bill. This happened in 2023. This happened again recently, I think. Newsom said that already banned discrimination based on religion, origin, and other characteristics. Because discrimination based on caste is already prohibited, which is not true. Under these existing categories, this bill is unnecessary, he said. The reason why you need a specific bill for caste is because it is generally not covered. There is no legal language to cover caste as well as class. Are they going to claim skin color? No. Are they going to claim religion? No, because technically it falls under the same religion. India banned caste discrimination more than 70 years ago, even though it persists. Although biases persist, especially against Dalits. I mean, I said directly. I did not even read that. Especially against Dalits, once called untouchables. California lawmakers voted 35-5 last month to approve the first statewide bill explicitly banning caste discrimination. It was sponsored by Democratic State Senator Ashish Wahyab, who sought to add caste as a protected category in the state anti-discrimination laws alongside gender, race, religion, and disability. RSS and upper caste lobbies politicians for their interests because they have money and network. In India, upper caste funds the most. That is why the politics of Bahujans is difficult. Exactly. Agreed. That is exactly what is going on. To control people, quite literally, they need to discriminate. Capitalism in itself also, right-wing conservatism, depends on the exploitation of the masses. If there is no one to exploit, if everyone is coming up with good education, a good background, when I say good background, sufficient means of providing for themselves enough education to understand what's good and what's bad, enough ways of learned behaviors like critical thinking, empathy, they are never going to fall for right-wing propaganda in the first place. In California, home of the largest South Asian population in the US, the caste bill has met with both praise and backlash from some community members. Obviously, praise from the ones that are affected by caste discrimination, backlash, as you see in India, from people who do not give a shit about other people. Generally, you see Hindus. We saw this during Mamdani election as well, where we quite literally had you see Hindus going against their own good. Indians in NYC depend on free busing, or they do pay what's the fucking word for it? They do pay rent and like a rent stabilization would help them as well. But no, they didn't want Mamdani because he was a Gujarati Muslim. Public hearings about the bill lasted hours and brought out hundreds of residents. The Hindu American Foundation called the measure a divisive bill that implicitly singles out South Asians. Now, remember this, Hindu American Foundation. We have seen that the Hindu American Foundation, where is this? So this is a project. Let's go map this out. So this is what we are checking is, this is all of the connected RSS groups here. I did not want to bring it out like this early, but how do I search organization? Yeah. So the Hindu American Foundation in Philadelphia is connected to the RSS quite directly. It's active. It pays tax-exempt non-profit organization internationally. Officials have been Sangh linkage. Officials have been trained by executive RSS. Has co-hosted events with known Sangh affiliates. Has hosted speakers from RSS. Officials from formal Sangh Parivar at its events. Has funds from Sangh sources. This organization, Hindu American Foundation, run by Mihir Meghani, Asim Shukla, Suhak Shukla, and Nikhil Joshi, is directly connected to the RSS. Oh, okay. There you go. In the statement from the governor vetoed the bill, the foundation said Mr. Newsom had averted a civil rights and constitutional disaster that would have put a target on hundreds and thousands of Californians simply because of their ethnicity and their religious identity, which is not fucking true. Like, you literally have nothing to worry about in this scenario if you're not discriminating. What the fuck do you mean? Like, how is this ever going to affect a large number of Californians? A large number of Californians aren't Indians. Like, Indians from India. They are Mexican. Jesus. And Mexicans don't have a caste system. Come on. In a state after the several Republican lawmakers who oppose this bill has echoed those arguments, saying discrimination was already prohibited under state law. See, it's not always discrimination. All discrimination is already prohibited. But if you do not have the legal language to assess and do something against the discrimination like happens anyway. The bill supporters included Dalit civil rights organizations, Equality Labs, which launched a hunger strike last month to push for the bill to be passed. They said Dalits have faced harassment, bias, and workplace discrimination in the US from the upper caste people, which is fucking true, which has been the case since time immemorial at this point. Do they really expect that just because an Indian is out of India, he's going to stop being fucking Indian? A fucking casteist Indian at that point. In 2020, the technology company Cisco, who sued by the state after two high caste Indian managers allegedly discriminated against Dalit engineer paying him a lower salary. The case was dismissed by April by order of the court because America is a hellhole. That's why, like, Europe is much better. Anyway, the point of the matter is they are paying a lot of money, RSS, through all of the channels to make hellholes out of countries that are formerly not hellholes, mostly because they want to increase their influence. Like, if we see here, I don't know if you guys can see properly. How many do you actually see across America? There are 107 organizations in America. There are 26 in the UK, 3 in Germany, 4 in the Netherlands, 1 in Belgium, 1 in France, 1 in Italy, 2 in... The fuck? Where is this? 2 in Norway, 1 in Sweden, 1 in Finland. 2240 in fucking India. 34 in Australia. There is 1 in fucking Fiji. And all of these organizations work with RSS, work with the RSS money and BJP money to fund anti-caste, not anti, like anti-caste people politics in other countries. They fund anti-Muslim politics in other countries. They will reiterate again and again and again that we need to discriminate against Muslims, we need to discriminate against Dalits, because we are apparently superior. Yes. Okay. So, what is this? Yeah. So I have to like specially thank Bliss here for sending me all of this information. So thank you very much. Sangh does not control. This was written on the 11th of December 2025, unveiling the RSS, exposing the largest right-wing network in history. The Sangh does not control neither directly nor remotely. Mohan Bhagwat, the chief of the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, insisted during a conclave in August. The organizational fountainhead of the Hindu right wing is celebrating its centenary this year, 100 years going by, which is RSS should have been banned a very long time ago. It is a sad thing that it hasn't. In the series of public events, it marks a milestone. Bhagwat took on the air on an aloof parent as if eager to distance himself from his children. The RSS is at the center of a sprawling network of organizations, but Bhagwat claimed that the Sangh affiliates are independent, autonomous, and they gradually become self-dependent. In several of its public materials too, the RSS repeatedly disavowed a relationship with organizational progeny that falls outside the approximate 3 dozen affiliates its officials acknowledge. It is, however, common knowledge that the Sangh's influence extends beyond its limited circle. Mere days before Bhagwat's comments, Prime Minister Modi declared during his independence speech at the Red Fort that the RSS is the biggest NGO in the world. Modi's statement leveraged the precise ambiguity. Like, remember, Modi was part of the RSS itself. Like, you can't be BJP without being RSS. Leverage the precise ambiguity. Bhagwat's comments sought to obfuscate the existence of a wide constellation of RSS-linked organizations spread across many sectors in the society, which cumulative reach is central to the Sangh's power. Why has the size-shaped nature of this network never been empirically investigated till date? Well, because the Sangh is invested in keeping it that way. The RSS has been repeatedly noted to not register, not as an NGO, not as a religious trust, nor as other religious entities. It quite literally has said it's multiple things. For example, where was this? Jesus. Like,
This brings us back to the central question. Is everything opaque because of RSS's legal status? The RSS has avoided being legally registered in India since its founding in 1925. It's not a society, not a trust, not an NGO, not a company. And recently, RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat said that RSS is a body of individuals.
So we are categorized as body of individuals.
A body of individuals, that's BOI, whether incorporated or not, is treated as a person under the Income Tax Act of 1961. Historically, the RSS has shifted its identity depending on what suited it at that moment. In his expansive book on the RSS, A.G. Nurani notes that before the Bombay High Court, the RSS had claimed that it was a charitable institution under tax law. Before the Charity Commissioner, it said it wasn't a charitable trust at all, but a political institution. Publicly, it calls itself cultural. In tax cases, it said its work was educational. And now, it says it's simply a body of individuals. In the 1970s, when the Income Tax Department issued notices, the RSS had argued that it wasn't earning any profit because all its money came from Guru Dakshina, envelopes of donations to the Guru.
Hold on. As a kid, I was forced to join Sangh along with the most guys in my school in their respective areas. They didn't give us a choice. It was mandatory, and teachers at school would get angry if someone missed it. Yeah, it happened in my school as well, though I never joined because I was ADHD. Yeah, it happens. Like, you are not given a choice. You have to join the Sangh. Especially in like Pune and Mumbai and Nagpur, where the Sangh has its like footholds. You have to join the Sangh.
That was collected once every year. That allowed it to invoke the principle of mutuality, which basically says that you can't make a profit for yourself. So Guru Dakshina was exempt from tax. But if the RSS is only a body of individuals and its only income is undocumented envelopes of Guru Dakshina, then how did the organization hire a major US lobbying firm? How did it transfer hundreds of thousands of dollars abroad?
Because it's fucking rich, it is not an NGO, it is for profit. It calls itself an NGO and can call itself an NGO because it's deep roots within the BJP as well. Let's not forget that the Adani and Ambani are also like at least somewhat affiliated with the RSS at the end of the day. Even they are like gaining something or the other from it.
Bureaucrat EAS Sharma has written an open letter asking the Union government's revenue secretary to investigate exactly this. If Guru Dakshina money is being used for foreign lobbying and if RSS itself denies its involvement, then either a foreign entity is impersonating the RSS or the RSS is operating abroad without any disclosures. Both possibilities demand answers. Now, the Sangh Parivar, of course, is massive. It's had several allies and affiliated organizations outside of India. US-based charities have historically funneled foreign funds to Sangh-linked institutions. One report in 2014 said that over $3 million flowed into Sangh bodies through a US charity called IDRF. As you can see, the financial questions have become unavoidable. Now, another question arises. What exactly are the lobbies doing? When government officials lobby, there's diplomacy. When a political party lobbies, that is political influence. But when an unregistered ideological organization, one that's deeply tied to the ruling party, engages lobbies abroad, the lines begin to blur. US lawmakers are now being introduced not just to the government of India, but directly to its ideological backbone. This affects how the US understands Indian politics, how minority rights concerns are being framed, and how pressure around democratic backsliding is being negotiated. If the RSS can influence that conversation, the implications can go way beyond image management. The story is still unfolding, but the questions are already very clear. And here at the News Minute, we will keep complete track of it.
Yeah, the voice is now on. I knew it. I fucking knew it. Anyway, where were we? Yeah. Surandar. The Caravan Julik covers story titled RSS Does Not Exist demonstrated how the lack of traceability on paper allows it to be the headquarters in the heart of its national capital without having to disclose its sources of funding. See, at the end of the day, RSS is still scamming people. It's like PM funds, but without the name of it. I mean, may as well be. It doesn't have to disclose anything because it calls itself a donation or like a group of people. That's why it is exempt from taxation. It is exempt for anything. Their forward front is always about like, oh, look, we are helping so many people. We are doing this, we are doing that. But at the end of the day, it is a paramilitary force. It is a organization meant to push forward Hindutwavad and meant to push forward a Nazi-esque ideology that some or the other people within this country are inferior to them, to the leaders of RSS. And it becomes bad for everyone. And goddamn, they cannot take a joke. Because at the end of the day, if they are not angry at someone, if they do not have anyone to oppress, and if they do not have someone to piss on, they are quite literally not going to work. Because that's how the RSS works. Let's not forget, like, the RSS is responsible for killing Mahatma Gandhi at the end of the day. because Godse was apparently part of the RSS. He was also, by some people's estimates, a partner of Savarkar, though that has no bearing on this anyway. But I would suggest that you should not have internalized homophobia, but that is a very different conversation to be having right now. Anyway, so what can happen now? What can we do as people of India is, first of all, talk about it. We need to, as like majority of the money that the Sangh gets comes from India. That's why through India, it shuffles this money outside to the pockets of various different kinds of politicians. So talking about this helps, because that's what the Sangh doesn't want. Like, they don't want you to talk about this. That's why it does so much work to hide it from you. So first and foremost, talk about it. And that's the only way out of it. You can't fight the Sangh. This cannot come on the road, because the Sangh it's a paramilitary force. So you're obviously going to lose. The only way is to talk about it. They are going to pressure you into a lot of things. They're going to pressure you into quite literally giving up. They're going to pressure your family. They're going to pressure everyone. And that is bad. I know. I understand that. But the only way out of this is to still talk about this. BJP is not just in power because there is a wave of Sanghis in India. It's power because people like you and me have given up talking about it. People like you and me have stopped searching for the truth and stopped talking about what is good and what is bad and what is wrong. That's the whole point. I was explaining this to someone today. It's because that we have lost hope is why authoritarianism is budding in India. It's because people who have the right to talk, who have the privilege to talk, who have the way to talk, have given up talking altogether. So if you can go out and talk to 3 people, India will be better by tomorrow. Just a little bit better. And little, we can make the entire India better. Again, that's why this whole thing as well. So do like and share. I was going to talk about Dhurandhar, but everything I've known about Dhurandhar was against my own will. It is quite literally a piece of work that is very close to the RSS's heart, apparently, because again, it is propaganda. Irrespective of what people tend to think, even in our Discord server, it is propaganda. It is unavoidable because it is propaganda. It is propaganda against Muslims. It is propaganda, though it does clarify, it is propaganda against Muslims of Pakistan, but people following the RSS and people who are within this Hindutva ideology do not know the difference. They do not care for the difference. They think every single Muslim in India is from Pakistan. They don't really care about Pakistani Muslims, to be honest with you. Or they would be on the front lines. They are not. These fat fuckers are inside India. It is a paramilitary force to control India. That's why the RSS gives so much of a shit about a movie like Dhurandhar, because it can use this idea that Muslims in Pakistan are bad, like the public. So Muslims in India, by relation of religion, are also bad. And that is a big ass problem. That is giving permissibility to hate in India. And it's about time we realize it. We can't keep just ignoring it as we are doing right now. That's why when, who was this lady? Again, Bliss, if you're here, please let me know this lady's name who removed her review of Dhurandhar. I'm guessing because you were the one talking about it. Again, everything I've learned about Dhurandhar is against my will. Okay, I still have no idea. Anyway, fuck it. So she was forced to removing her review of Dhurandhar because it was somewhat negative. Because apparently you cannot talk about a movie You cannot talk about a movie that like in a negative sense in India if it has anything to do with the Indian army or anything, because apparently it is a hateful comments. And there is this, okay, there is this whole thing that is going on with Dhurandhar right now, where hold on, where is this? I want that comment, like people who were talking about like, oh, fake. There is a scene in Dhurandhar, okay? And again, I have not watched that movie, and I deny watching that movie at all. But apparently, there is a whole thing in India where Madhavan, who was playing Ajit Doval in the movie, had a thing like, oh, we know that the plates are being sold to like Pakistan, and there is a fake note problem. And when a politician in 2014 from Gujarat or whatever comes in power, who is like the real son of India, we will act. This is, I think, quite very direct quote from the movie. Anyone have a link? So this quote exactly is what you call treason. Especially for us, like a spy, this is treason. Not informing your country there is an active threat because you feel there is someone new going to come in who's going to make India better is treason. So if Ajit Doval, if he has ever said this, or if he has done this, he should be in jail right now. And I'm not saying he has, but if this thing is based on true fact, if this whole comment is based on true fact, he should be in jail because he has directly done treason against the goddamn country by not informing that there is literal fake currency being made in Pakistan against India. When also the reason why this entire movie is also a piece of propaganda is that people are going to take this and talk about how Modi is the whatever. This is political propaganda straightforward. And not to mention this thing where we have increased the number of fake notes in India. Do not forget. Counterfeit money is always a problem, is especially a problem. And there are ways like demonetization happened before, but nobody noticed it because it happened very smoothly under Manmohan Singh's government. With Modi's government, at least 100 people have died, if I'm not wrong. Or at least a few. Nobody gave them anything for dying because of the word of the Prime Minister. But unlike what they expected out of demonetization, the amount of fake money has increased in India exponentially since then, because it is much easier to make fake money out of 200 rupee notes than 1,000. It's like simple maths. If you have a denomination that doubles the earlier denomination, you're going to have a lot more fake money. It's quite easy. That is what the thing is. Like, Sanghis quite literally are delusional and they do not understand that what is good and bad, what is the differences here. Because they're inherently stupider. I'm sorry, like they are. Because of which Dhurandhar is a propaganda film, and I would advise anyone from not watching it. And if someone has watched it, please forget it. Mostly because like there's no point in hating Muslims in India because they are Indians as well, like as you and me, and they suffer a lot more than you and me. And things will only change when we understand this. Things will only change when we understand it and talk about these things very clearly. There haven't been good movies in India for a reason, because movies are a part of the cultural fabric that pushes the community in either a good direction or a bad direction depending on the movie. Good movies push people into being more positive about LGBTQ rights, about rights of Dalits, about rights of Muslims, about rights of even Hindus. But when you have movies like Durandar, like what was the fucking movie name? Like Urta Punjab, I think, that glorifies violence, or like the Ranbir Kapoor movie Animal, I think that name was. When you have such movies, it pushes the community into a very negative sense. And the reason why India cannot perform economically anymore, India cannot perform with like GDP per capita, even though GDP is increasing, all of your wallets are emptying, is because you need this unity. You need the security of a united front within the community, where companies can be like, hey, the riot is not going to just go off just cause. You need that security to get to produce, have more factories, to have more industries, to produce more jobs. Without that unity, there's nothing. Like, this division costs India a lot more than literally anything else. That becomes a problem. That's why we are in such shit right now. Anyway, I had to really find a way to put in, like, I wanted to react to RSS and Satire by Kunal Kamra. It was released on the 13th of December. And I was going to like find a way to, when did India ever perform? India perform in what sense? In what sense? Seriously, I'm asking. Like, do you mean in cricket? Roman, seriously. Like, economically perform? Because we were performing quite well during Manmohan Singh's time. We were performing quite well, and I don't think you're going to like that. If you talk socially, we were performing back then as well. See, India was on a track of being extremely developed. In the sense you were saying that we can't perform. Again, perform economically. We have gone through phases of high development for a reason, when there was a lot of cohesion between the people. We right now cannot perform because there is no cohesion, because the government in itself is not uniting the people into working towards a goal. It is dividing. The only way the BJP can win right now is by dividing. That's why all of the speeches. That's why all of the issues are persisting, because so the thing is, it wants the companies like Adani and Ambani to grow. The only way for them to grow is to have a division within the public. But that division within the public is also causing the overall GDP per capita to reduce. Mostly because then newer investments from outside are not coming in. And that becomes an issue, because a country cannot live in isolation anymore. A country has to depend on selling its good to other countries. Well, India has a lot of goods. It cannot manufacture. We have the necessary, let's say, equipment to have a silicon manufacturing plant in India. We have even the raw resources. The problem with, let's say, producing silicon chips or rare earth minerals is quite literally, how are you supposed to, isolate the mineral from the ore? Because they're quite common, to be fair. The problem here is, even if they're called rare, they are still quite common. If you don't have a united front, if you don't have a united people, you cannot do these research, because these research take collaborations, they take more funding, they take people to be nice to each other. They take for ideas need to come from everywhere for you to develop these technologies. And if you do not have people that can work together, if you have people that are inherently castists, inherently racist, inherently theist, where they're dividing based on religion and not taking in people who actually can have good ideas, you're never going to develop it. Plus, let's say you want to involve other people, okay? You want to involve other people from other countries to come into India and, let's say, start a factory. Now, if you are, say, Walmart, if you are, say, like any Apple, or if you are, say, whatever company, would you go out of your way and put your company in a place that is inherently unstable, where if a riot breaks out, your company loses like the days or weeks or months of like production? No, you're not. You're not going to put in a factory in a place where like the right wing or the people can get angry at a snap and break down your factory for the reason because the head of your factory just stopped ate beef or something. You're not going to risk that. That's why so many factories are there. They're choosing to move factories from India to Vietnam. They're choosing to move factories from India to China, which they have been doing for a very long time. And they're moving to choose factories from India to certain African countries now. Now, I am not in support of these factories or the capitalist mechanism that gives rise to these factories, but I'm just trying to explain to you that when we have more unity, when we have a more stable governance, when we have a more stable population, it gives rise to a lot more trust in Indian manufacturing in itself. Now, whether or not it's possible within the next few years or no, that is a completely different question. But right now, we still need a government that is more uniting than dividing, and we don't have that right now. The other point of this is talking about we need workers' rights, obviously. Without worker rights, it has been seen multiple times that overall population growth, performance of the population grows with more worker rights. It doesn't reduce. You cannot be in a capitalist system and expect your workers to perform more. That's why they want to replace the workers with AI now. And the only way for them to do that is to find excuses to fire everyone. That's why a lot of people are getting fired right now. Not because these companies don't have the money or the resources, it's because they want to include AI. And then, yes, there's also this point we have to cover because it is part of this. Is there is someone who told me, not recently, but earlier, oh, India is not losing factories because we have these AI centers being built. Building AI centers is inherently bad for you. That's why AI centers are coming into regions that are inherently unstable, inherently governed by a fascist nation government like India, is because they're inherently bad for the people. People who are going to revolt against it in literally any other country because they poison your water, they poison your land, and they poison your air. And they use so much water that in regions where there is already drought like India, you cannot avoid using water. So they redirect the water from cities into these AI farms, which ends up being oh, you already had a problem with water and now you're extremely fucked. Because now this area becomes unlivable, especially for the poor, because that's where the water comes from the poor. So India is getting fucked because of its fascist government right now. I am sorry. That is what is happening. Anyway, so we are 1 hour to 20 minutes and we started late anyway. So I'm going to cut off here. We will be back in the normal schedule from this week, so Thursday, exactly at 9:30 p.m. Exactly India time, 9:30 p.m. exact time. That is the time I'm deciding. We will see on Thursday, and then we'll be back again on Sunday. Thank you for being here. Special thanks to Bliss for everything that she does. No, you can't use seawater at all. Seawater, again, seawater takes a... if you put seawater, you can't use seawater directly because if you put seawater on a server, it is going to get clogged by the salts. The second issue is that if you use seawater, you have to clean the seawater first. Like distillation, it takes more energy out, far more energy than these people are ever going to put in. And energy costs more money. So they are not going to use seawater ever. You can't use seawater at all. Like AI is inherently bad for the environment. Plus, there's a lot of impurities in seawater itself, different kinds of minerals, algae, whatever, that you just do not get in fresh water. That's why they use fresh water for everything. And they're like, out of all of the water present on Earth, only 1% is fresh water, and only 50% of that is drinkable. And that 50% is also what we have to use for AI, apparently, because it also needs to drink water. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. I'll see you Thursday. Good night. And hopefully we are not going to have issues like we did before. Cheers.